Hello there guys, welcome to another of my videos. So talks have begun between Manchester United and Paul Pogba regarding a new contract. Now I give you the breaking news, didn't I, yesterday night, because it said that Paul Pogba had dropped a tweet on social media saying that there will be a big announcement today, and that's obviously regarding a new contract. Now, obviously, a few weeks before the season finished, he said that Paul Pogba was close to signing a 5-year deal with Manchester United. And then it said that obviously want to extend Paul Pogba's contract, and Pogba's agent Mini Raiola is waiting for the offer. Now, Fabrizio Romano, who is a very reliable Italian journalist, he came out not too long ago and he said that Paul Pogba wants to stay at Manchester United, and he said he's happy, and he says that Man United will enter negotiations with his agent, over getting him a new contract at the football club. I definitely think now that Paul Pogba will commit his long-term future with the football club. Obviously, as it stands at the moment, Pogba has just got under a year left on his current contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. But we just need to end the uncertainty over his future. I think this time, was it last year, Paul Pogba said he wanted to leave Manchester United, and he publicly admitted this, and he said he was seeking for a new challenge. He has had a long-running transfer saga. Obviously, last summer, Pogba was relentlessly linked with a move to Real Madrid. He was talking a lot about Real Madrid last year, about his dreams of playing under Zinedine Zidane and stuff like that. Also, too, there was a lot of narratives about him going back to Juventus, because Paul Pogba did endure 4 good years with Juventus. Obviously, there were stories about him going to PSG before, Barcelona were in for him before, and so too Inter Milan. But we said, didn't we, if we would have sold Paul Pogba, we would have wanted over £100 million for the player. As it stands at the moment, Pogba is our most expensive signing, because we did pay £89 million for him from Juventus. I think recently, Paul Pogba celebrated his 4-year anniversary at the football club. But I think he has made over 100 appearances for Man United in all competitions since he rejoined. He has won 2 trophies at the football club, and that was the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season. But obviously, Paul Pogba, at some point at Man United, wants to experience, winning the Premier League. He wants to experience, winning the Champions League and that. And so far, he hasn't experienced this. I think towards the end of the Premier League season, Paul Pogba, did make a fantastic impact. Put some very, very good performances out, and I think his combination with Bruno Fernandes in our midfield has also been fantastic. Now, like I said, for the vast majority of the Premier League season, didn't really have a perception on him, because obviously he was out with that ankle injury, don't forget, for the vast majority of the Premier League season. Obviously, he sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player. Pogba did endure a very, very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era, but all our top players endured a difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era. Obviously, Solskjaer knows Paul Pogba really, really well, because he watched him, grow and develop. We had Paul Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Alex Ferguson era, but obviously, we had to let him leave on a free due to limited appearances. But, Solskjaer did recently drop a hint regarding Pogba's future, and, he says that Pogba will stay at Man United and he will end up signing a new contract with the football club. He's currently on, 300 grand a week at the moment, or just under 300 grand a week on his current deal. But obviously, we're getting a new long-term deal, and obviously he's going to demand a pay rise, so actually, could be the highest paid player at Manchester United. But, there was swap deals high on the agenda for so long. Obviously, Real Madrid were willing to offer quite a few of their players to try and get Pogba. Obviously, Juventus were willing to offer a few of their players to try and get Pogba. Because obviously, his wage demands were the stumbling block, basically. Because Pogba, like I said, he's on around 15 million a year at Man United at the moment. Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, like I said, we was very, very critical of him at the turn of the year, because he publicly come out and criticised Solskjaer and Manchester United at the turn of the year. But at least in the last couple of years, Mini Raiola has been working on trying to get his client a transfer away from Manchester United completed. Raiola's spoken with Juventus before, and he's also spoken with Real Madrid. So that is some more news regarding Paul Pogba. Now, I want to give you some news regarding Kai Havertz from Bayer Leverkusen. Now, according to the Manchester Evening News, Manchester United are planning to hijack Chelsea's bid for Kai Havertz if we fail to get Jadon Sancho on the board. Now, I don't think we'll get Kai Havertz anyway. I think probably Kai Havertz is going to end up going. He's going to end up going to Chelsea, isn't there? Because there's reports coming out saying that Chelsea have agreed to get him on a 5-year deal, and reportedly Chelsea want to get Kai Havertz for around £70 million. That's like 20 million less than Leverkusen's valuation, because I think Leverkusen have said they want around £90 million for Kai Havertz. I've got to say, Chelsea have done very, very good business so far. Obviously, they got Hakim Ziyech back in February for around 37 or 38 million pounds. They got Werner for around 48 million pounds. So they have spent around 80 odd million pounds on them two players. So they're hopeful that Kai Havertz can be their third signing in this summer transfer window. Now, we've been in for Kai Havertz before. I think he is a very, very good player. He can play as an attacking mid. He can also play as a winger. He is only the age of 21, is Havertz. I think up until this point, he's spent the entirety of his career with Bayer Leverkusen. Obviously, he has been in their senior squad since 2016, and since then has become an integral part of their team. He's made over 100 appearances in the Bundesliga. Don't forget, Kai Havertz became the youngest debutant in the Bundesliga, and he became the youngest player to reach a milestone of 50 and 100 appearances in the German top flight. I think also too, Liverpool were in for him before. Kai Havertz has got a contract with Bayer Leverkusen until 2022. But I think it's looking very imminent he will leave, because obviously Leverkusen are no longer in the Europa League because they recently got knocked out by Inter Milan. So this will probably convince Kai Havertz to leave. But he's done very, very well, in Germany. And I think if he comes to the Premier League, he will definitely exceed expectations. So that is the news on him. But I still think, there's a chance that Jadon Sancho will sign for Manchester United in this summer transfer window. Now, obviously, Jadon Sancho is in Switzerland for Borussia Dortmund's pre-season. As you all know, we did miss out on the deadline to sign Sancho because, Dortmund basically said, we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. Now, I'm still very convinced that Sancho does want to come to Manchester United. But like I've said, throughout the course of this Jadon Sancho transfer saga, it has been Borussia Dortmund's asking price that has been the stumbling block. Because Borussia Dortmund have said, several times they want over £100 million for the player. And we have said we are not willing to meet their valuation. Borussia Dortmund's valuation is around £108 million. And I think Dortmund have said they're looking for around £90 million up front. We only want to pay around £60 or £70 million up front. Obviously, the other week, it was looking very, very imminent that Man United were going to sign Sancho. Because obviously, Fabrizio Romano came out and said negotiations between Manchester United and Dortmund were at an advanced stage. and he said that Sancho agreed personal terms with Manchester United, and it said that Sancho was set to sign a 5-year deal with a football club worth around £340,000 a week. Now, I've been hearing that not only the asking price is a stumbling block, the wage demands are as well, because reportedly we're only willing to give him around 220 grand a week. Don't forget, Borussia Dortmund's sporting director Michael Zorg, he's come out recently and said that Sancho will stay at Dortmund and the decision is final. And he said that Dortmund have secretly extended Jadon Sancho's contract until 2023. But he did recently say that Borussia Dortmund are willing to offer Sancho a new contract. Obviously, if we didn't get Sancho by the 10th of August. But Sancho is our number one priority target, and he has been our number one priority target for a while. We first expressed our interest in him in 2017. But I think Sancho will probably have to put a transfer request in, if he is to force a move to Manchester United. But we're not giving up on the signing of the player. Ed Woodward's obviously come out and spoken about it, and he says that the Jadon Sancho transfer saga will drag on for the entirety of the summer transfer window. But like I said, I want Sancho at Manchester United because he's got a very, very good friendship with Rashford. He's predominantly a right winger, and Manchester United are in search for the right winger. And he would dramatically improve us because Sancho is a player that can create chances. His runs on and off the ball are very, very good. And he can also score goals, and he is only at the age of 20. And he would definitely make us more clinical in our attacking line. Sancho's enjoyed 3 good years with Dortmund. Like I said, Dortmund only paid $8 million for him from City. But analyse his performances in the few years he's been with Dortmund, his valuation has persistently grown. Sancho enjoyed 2 years with City. But the main explanation why he left Manchester City is because he didn't get assured any first team opportunities. And before he was at City, he was at Watford, and he actually was at Watford for several years. I think he was there from the age of 7 to the age of 14. But we've already made a promise to Jadon Sancho that he will be our next number 7. If he does sign for the football club. Obviously, we have got number 7 vacant at the moment. But like I said, we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations. Ronaldo was a fantastic 7. Best number 7 we've had, and best player we've had in the Premier League era. We had the likes of George Best in number 7, Eric Cantona, David Beckham, Michael Owen at one point. He wasn't that good though. We had Memphis Depay as the number 7 at one point under Louis van Gaal. He struggled to make an impact. And we had Alexis Sanchez, and he was also, very, very poor. He was very, very poor in that. But there's a few transfer experts that have spoken about, Jadon Sancho. It's not only Fabrizio Romano, also Christian Falk spoken about it. I think another transfer expert spoken about it. There's also Simon Stone from the BBC that's spoken about the Jadon Sancho transfer saga. There were stories coming out quite a few weeks ago saying that we allegedly had an £89 million bid turned down for him. Then it came out just after that saying that we agreed an initial £60 million fee with Dortmund for Sancho, and there'd be like 30 or 40 million in add-ons. But a lot of Manchester United fans expected Sancho to be officially a Man United player last Friday, but obviously, it didn't happen. But there's a lot of Man United fans now think that Sancho to Man United is dead in the water because obviously, he did go on pre-season with Dortmund. But like I said, Dortmund are known as a selling football club because they have let quite a few of their players go to the Premier League in recent years. They've also, recruited some good players in recent years, on the other hand. Like I said, we are looking at alternatives to him. We are now looking at Ousmane Dembele from Barcelona. He would definitely be a cheaper solution than Sancho. The only element of concern about Ousmane Dembele is that he is injury prone. He's been very injury prone since his arrival at Barcelona. I think he's enjoyed like 3 years with Barcelona. Ousmane Dembele's got a contract with Barcelona until 2022. He is a left wing, he can also play century, I think. We have been in for him before. I think he'd probably be available for around maybe 30 or 40 million pounds. You know, Barcelona did get him from Borussia Dortmund back in 2017. I think Barcelona got him in a deal, was it worth like 135 million if I'm right? So he's on that list as one of the most expensive signings. I think Barcelona did pay good, was it 95 or 96 million pounds up front? And wasn't there like 40 million in add-ons or something like that? But he is only very, very young. He's not the only alternative we've been looking at. You know, we've also been looking at Kingsley Coman from Bayern Munich. You know, we've actually inquired about getting him on loan. We've also looked at Rabbi Matondo from Schalke. You know, we've looked at Thiago Almeida. We recently looked at Federico Chiesa from Fiorentina. We've recently looked at Douglas Costa from Juventus. So, yeah, you know, there's been a hell of a lot of alternatives, you know, to Jadon Sancho. So, anyway, you know, that is the news on that. That is the news on that. But Solskjaer's already outlined his plans for this summer transfer window. He has instructed our board to go and get his preferred targets. I think, you know, we should recruit well in this summer transfer window because obviously, you know, Solskjaer has exceeded expectations this season so far. And this has been his first full it was his first full season at the football club. Obviously, you know, we've got qualification for the Champions League. And like I said to you, didn't I, you know, the importance of Champions League qualification, you know, for our players, attracting players and for the financial structure. I think we got an extra £70 million in revenue for getting qualification for the Champions League. Also, too, finished third. I also thought that was a fantastic achievement. We've also progressed to 3 semi-finals. You know, we got to the EFL Cup semi-final, the FA Cup semi-final, and now we are in the Europa League semi-final. But earlier on in the season, you know, you wouldn't have thought Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would have exceeded expectations because earlier on this season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season, and at that point, you know, Solskjaer was close to getting sacked as Manchester United manager. But I've basically, you know, seen an upturn in form since January. Because, you know, we are unbeaten in our last 14 league games. You know, we haven't lost in the league since Burnley. And that's very, very good. And don't forget, you know, we did go on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions until Chelsea beating us in the FA Cup semi-final. But the big test for Solskjaer is definitely next season. Because next season, you know, he'll have to exceed expectations to remain in the Man United job. But it'll be bigger expectations next season than it has been this season. Next season we'll probably be expected to challenge for the Premier League title. But, you know, Solskjaer has said that he wants Man United to make at least 3 signings in this summer transfer window because obviously he does want to overhaul the Manchester United squad. You know, Solskjaer's already identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up. Like I said, I think we need a right winger. We need a holding midfielder. It would be beneficial if we could get a left back in. And we're also looking to get a centre half in, despite the fact that we've got like 7 centre halves in the team. But, you know, big decisions have got to be made in this summer transfer window of obviously what players we're going to get recommending and what players, you know, we are going to get rid of. You know, we've got to also focus on the outgoings because he's still deadwood at the football club. We're going to get rid of players, obviously, in this summer transfer window, and that will increase our transfer budget. I think our transfer budget has been revealed. You know, we have got around £140 million to spend. £140 million to spend. But I think the players we're going to get rid of is, you know, Jesse Lingard, get rid of him. He recently said that we put him up for sale. Get rid of Andres Pereira. Get rid of Diego Dalot. Get rid of Phil Jones. He's another one. I'd love us to get rid of Rojo permanently. You know, Smalling, some Man United fans would say keep him, some Man United fans would say let him go. You know, Chris Smalling's just returned to Manchester United from his loan spell with Roma. You know, Inter Milan are now in the race for Chris Smalling. But, there's still deadwood at the football club. And obviously, we are going to loan some players out. Looking very, very imminent that Tahith Chong's going to be loaned out by Man United. Tahith Chong has found game time very, very difficult at the football club. He's only made 12 first-team appearances, I think, since he broke into the senior squad. But Werder Bremen actually want to get Tahith Chong on loan. I think he's going to join them on a 2-season loan. It was only back in March that Tahith Chong had signed a 2-year contract with the football club. So he's under contract with us until 2022. But he's already turned down offers from clubs across Europe. I think we're also going to loan James Garner out. I also believe that we are going to loan Dylan Levitt out as well, so they can get regular first-team football. Some Man United fans, think, we could even loan Daniel James out, because obviously, towards the end of the Premier League season wasn't getting starts. Mason Greenwood was getting there ahead of him. Daniel James played a lot of games throughout the course of the Premier League season. I think he played a good 30-odd games for us, so I thought Solskjaer overplayed him. But we did get Daniel James last summer from Swansea for £15 million, so you've got to say he was a cheap solution. He was a cheap solution. So, yeah, we are definitely going to loan players out. We're going to loan players out. Like I said, Solskjaer's got a goalkeeping decision to make. He's facing a dilemma on our goalkeepers, because he did say that, it'd be hard for us to keep De Gea, Romero and Henderson all at the club for next season. But personally speaking, I think Solskjaer needs to put Dean Henderson as our number one for next season. But whether he does or not, I do not know. But this summer transfer window is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager. But I do really, really trust him to bring in the players that we want to bring in. Earlier on in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial career, he worked out his transfer strategy and he said he wants to recruit young British talents to Manchester United. So far in the the 19 months Solskjaer's been here, he has made 4 permanent signings and he's spent around £220 million on these players. And he's also, got rid of a lot of the players since he got recommended in to the football club. But I've got to say, I've definitely seen improvements under the Solskjaer era. Definitely our recruitment's improved under him, because we have been criticised for several years, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been. I think Solskjaer's promoted the youth very, very well. Like I said, our record against the top 6 sides was also very, very good throughout the course of the season. So I've definitely seen improvements under him. I think there's definitely also players that have improved under him, especially, the top players in that. Martial, he's had a very, very good season for Manchester United. 23 goals in all competitions, I think, for him this season. Martial's had 2 good years out of the 5 years he's been at the club. He's done well this season under Solskjaer, and he did well in his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. We did pay around £36 million for Martial. We got him at the age of 19. But throughout the course of this season, Anthony Martial has been playing in that number 9 role. So he's been playing centrally. And I think we will keep him in that central position, even though it's not his predominant position. So, Solskjaer knows how much Anthony Martial has improved. Marcus Rashford, I don't think we've seen, the best of him throughout the course of the season, to be honest with you. He's done okay. He hasn't been at his best, though. Still think he's improved under Solskjaer than what he was under Mourinho. Obviously, at the start of the season, didn't really make an impact. Then, obviously, Rashford was out with that back injury for a while, and he did okay towards the end of the Premier League season. Throughout the course of this season, Rashford's been playing on that left-hand side. Don't forget, recently, Solskjaer issued a warning to Martial and Rashford against self-interest. And he says if anyone's, caught playing for themselves, Solskjaer's warned them that they will be dropped. Mason Greenwood, he's also really, really improved. This was Mason Greenwood's first full season in the senior squad for Man United. Scored quite a lot of goals throughout the course of the season. And I think Mason Greenwood is a foreseeable future for the football club. You know, he had that. Don't forget, he had that injury though towards the end of the Premier League season. Was it an ankle injury that Greenwood had had? Definitely the likes of Fred and McTominay have improved under Solskjaer. For the vast majority of the Premier League season, Fred and McTominay, were getting a lot of starts. But obviously, towards the end of the Premier League season, obviously, Matic was getting starts, so he was getting there ahead of Fred and McTominay and that. I've been impressed with all of them, to be honest with you. Scott McTominay was out with an injury though earlier on this season. I think he was out with an ankle injury. Also, too, I've got to say that Luke Shaw has really, really improved under Solskjaer. The only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he is injury prone, but prior to that, a very good left back. I think probably Luke Shaw will remain our first choice left back for next season because he's obviously no more experienced than Brandon Williams. But Brandon Williams has still enjoyed a very, very good season for Man United. But I think he'll probably become our first choice left back in the next couple of years, maybe. We had the good news recently regarding Brandon Williams because he signed a 4-year deal with the football club to keep him under contract with the club till 2024, and there's also an option of a further year. But yeah, he's also done well under Solskjaer. Williams, yeah. I think Lindelof has improved, but I still think there's definitely aspects of his game that I've got to improve Victor Lindelof's. There's some games where, he's looked well composed at the back and he's got in good positions and his passing's been good, but there's some games where he's looked too exposed at the back. He's taken far too many touches, so he's still got to improve his Lindelof. Lindelof's endured 3 years at Manchester United, but obviously he's one of our first choice centre-halves. Throughout the course of this season, he has been playing alongside Harry Maguire and that. And I think, the signings Solskjaer's brought in have obviously, done quite well. So I have, seen a lot of improvements. Throughout the course of the season, though, Solskjaer did make a lot of rotation, but that was reflecting on the injuries that Man United had. Don't forget, there was a period where Solskjaer went with the exact same team for 5 games in a row in the league, and that was the first time we'd done that since February 1993, so that's now, 27 years ago. That was 27 years ago, yes it wasn't that. But yeah, like I said now, we're focusing on the Europa League. The Europa League is a priority for Manchester United. We have got Sevilla on Sunday in the semi-final. It is our second European semi-final since Alex Ferguson's retirement, and like I said, it's our third semi-final this season. It's going to be interesting to see how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer approaches the game against Sevilla. I think he's going to go with our strongest 11 because we can't take any risks because Sevilla are a pretty good team. They obviously knocked Wolves out yesterday, 1-0. We progressed to the semi-finals of this competition by obviously beating Copenhagen recently in the quarter-final. Before that, we beat Lask in the last 16. And obviously, we beat Club Brugge in the round of 32. But we are the favourites to win the Europa League, and I want us to win the Europa League because it will be good. It will put more confidence into the team. It will be our first trophy as well under Solskjaer. And it will be our first trophy in over 3 years, so it will end our trophy drought. And plus, it will be our second Europa League because we've already won one Europa League and won that back under Jose Mourinho in 2017. But, you can't take any risks. The last time we played Sevilla was in the Champions League. Was it last 16? It was back in 2018. They did beat us by 2-1. I think Wissam Ben Yedder had scored twice in that game and Lukaku had scored our goal. But the first leg at Sevilla's ground was actually 0-0. It really, really wasn't that. But, recently against Copenhagen, Solskjaer didn't go with his best 11. In the second leg against Lask, when we beat them 2-1, didn't go with his best 11. Obviously, in the games against Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final, didn't go with his best 11. Didn't go with his best 11 either against Norwich in the quarter-final of the FA Cup. And, we seem to struggle when we don't go with his best 11 and that, But, some young players during this Europa League campaign so far have been given their chances. Some of them obviously haven't. We recently saw Tiedemann Mengi make his debut for the club. Ethan Laird obviously hasn't been given the chances yet. He recently got promoted into the senior squad. Ethan Galbraith, don't think he's played yet. James Garner, I don't think he's been given a chance. Tahith Chon obviously did play against Lasky, came off the bench. Yeah. But like I said, I still don't know if Solskjaer's a foreseeable future for Manchester United. Time will tell. Time will tell. It really, really will. But Solskjaer is our fourth permanent manager since the Ferguson era. We haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers, but 3 managers have gone. Moyes went after he enjoyed 8 or 9 months at the club. Obviously, Van Gaal got sacked after 2 years at the club. We did win the FA Cup under him. And Mourinho got sacked after he enjoyed 2.5 years at the club, but he won the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season. And I think we finished second in Jose Mourinho's first season. So Solskjaer's our fourth permanent manager since the Ferguson era. And, look at the money we've spent in the last 7 years. We spent a good £900 million on players, and we've recruited 30-odd players in. A good 32, 33 players in since the Alex Ferguson era. So in reality, people say, reflect on the money we've spent, we should be where Liverpool are, or minimum where Man City are. And all of that. But like I said, it's going to be hard for any manager at Manchester United, or any manager in general, to replicate Ferguson's legacy. And it's going to be hard for them, to last as long as Alex Ferguson did. But like I said, give Solskjaer more time and let's see, what he can do. Because I want his managerial tenure to work out. Because at the end of the day, he was a club legend. He was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance. So yeah. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on this channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.